I'm sorry, I think I had my microphone off. Hey guys, we're just getting started here. We're getting some technical things out of the way just to make sure that we're live. If anyone's in any of the chats, and you can tell me if you can tell me that you hear me, and I'm gonna put my three-song medley on just while we get the technicals out of the way here. So bear with us. Let me turn this off, and we'll be right back.
God knows we ain't perfect. Lord, how we try. And we live the way that we live for those brave souls that died. And they gave America their all to America. That's America. There's miles of roads before us as a new generation draws near. Visions, dreams, and understanding, all roads to a new frontier. That's America, the hope of America. That's America. That's America, the hope of America. That's America. Silent night, holy night, shepherds quake at the sight, glory stream from heaven afar.
Hey guys, how are you? So it looks like we have sound and visual and home. Those were my three songs available. Um, the tour's operating on donations. Sadly, not for us because I'm not out for fanfare or anything like that. We have two people here today, and what's sad is that we know a lot of people from this area. We spent a lot of time here years ago, and um, somehow they've figured out um, they're not here. So I guess everything is figured out. Sadly, a lot of people are still distracted. What's going on? And I have to I'm just being guided by the Holy Spirit to say these things. And I'm not here to say things that everybody loves to hear. It's tenor talk. It's truth and from the heart. And if you're triggered, then you need to listen to me even more. So don't turn me off, because if I trigger you today, then you're judging and you're in a bad space. So because we're here, we're traveling the country. I could be home too. I'd probably like to be home too. I can go back into the matrix. I can go back into real estate, making over six figures, and being in the matrix, making money, paying taxes. But I choose to spread the message that how we've been deceived, how we've been distracted, and how we've been kept away from our powerful selves to change our lives and to actually change the world, because we the people are the plan. So before I get into that, I know Diane wanted to say a few things that might set this up. So I'm upset, not for me, because I'm in total peace and I have everything happening in my life exactly what I'm manifesting, because I learned how powerful I am. I got the memo. I have a beautiful dog. I have beautiful music. I have a tour that I manifested, and I know what's coming because I got the memo. So I'm upset for those that aren't here, but hopefully what I realized today, what I said to Diane before we started, is that there's so many more people at home, because for a brief second I was going to cancel this today because I got so upset. And I'm not upset. I'm actually upset for the people that didn't show up today.
For them, not
For
against
them, not against them. I'm upset for them because I want them so badly to stop being distracted with the distractions that are out there. And I want them to get this memo, and I want them to change their lives. So anyway, Divinely Diane.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I just want to say that most of you who, oh no,
She lost her thing. I'm going to actually check. I'm going to check really quick, everybody, before you start, Diane, if we have sound still.
Yes, let's make sure.
Let me just check, because we're plugged into the laptop. I'm learning all of this stuff. I want them to get this memo.
Okay, we're doing
good.
good.
We're live. Good.
So most of you who know me, and I've spoke with many people who are probably watching today, some who will see this repeat. I am never at a loss for words, and I typically don't take notes. Today I made some notes because there were some key things. I began this actually a while ago. And so there's some key things that I want everyone to understand. Most interesting revelation. So before I start again, so you'll see me reading, and I like to be more personable, but I hope you understand these are, though I'm reading this. The revelation is that we've uncovered is that the average person does not want truth. They want what makes them comfortable. They want to continue in their illusion. This is why Jesus was so adamant when he said to those who would end up following in his footsteps that they should sell everything and that he would make them fishers of men. He didn't say, come just follow me. He was going to get them in action. The question is, are you the exception? You can visualize yourself as the exception and affirm this is your emotion. Do you know that most people are so buried in their comforts and pleasures? Their coping mechanisms are perfect for them to continue life in the same manner each day. Nothing new to consider, nothing new to challenge, except for maybe a few titillating thoughts of self-proclaiming wisdom. Are you the exception? God is always saying, I'm not going to give you a handout. If you're waiting for things to happen, it is your guide, your barometer to know that this is not where we want to be, where you need to be. Because he's always giving a hand up, not a handout. Nothing is impossible Don't talk yourself out of action. Become a new version of yourself. That's what we're challenging you. And it really shouldn't be a challenge. You've had people that are talking about this for a very long time. Break the habit of your old self. Stop reliving the patterns of living in the past. These are the emotional links that you have that divide your energy. This is why so many people are divided and conquered. They justify what they're doing and say, oh, this is more important. This is more important. The most important thing that we can be doing right now at this time, especially, is what the message that Tanner and I are sharing. We are not the only ones sharing this exact message, but it's important that if you hear this, that you know this is for you. So we rewrite the program. If we're in a program, then we're unconscious, and we have to become conscious of our thoughts. Most people found peace with them and everyone around them. And I'm not going to just tell you that miracles are real, because it's not about the obscure miracle. What I want to say to you is that you misunderstand that word. What is a miracle? Every breath is a miracle. With this understanding, we can take off the rarity and the exclusivity of miracles. I'm going to skip down some of my notes here, because what I wanted to say was, let me just get to this. Hold, please. We've talked a lot about religion and how they control us. So what we're doing is saying, surrender the version of you that has been striving for approval. Say only, I want the approval of the Creator. Surrender the part of you that constantly aims your light so that other people don't feel insecure around you. Say instead, I will be authentic to myself, even if it makes other people feel uncomfortable. Let go of the version of you that keeps quiet just to keep the peace. And I know many of you are doing this right now. I've had this conversation with many people. And desire, and say, I desire to give direction, and I will always speak from a place of care and love. Surrender the part of you that takes the blame for things that were never yours to carry. Instead, speak, I allow others to fail so that I can experience the processes. Many of you and myself even, we've been in that place where we don't want to rock the boat. This is you holding yourself down. Would you agree with that, Tenor?
Absolutely.
Always have certainty in the light of the Creator. How many of you have busy schedules? Everybody can raise their hand to this. How many of you don't want to address things because of your worldly priorities? I would say to you today, never speak this again. Never think this again. This is the absolute thing that is keeping you from you and from this message. And this is right now the most important message that we have. And I'm going to stop there. I'll add some more stuff as we go. I just want to say that I want to talk about in a little bit how we are the ones that are doing this, and that it is a choice that we have. Go ahead, Tinner.
Cool. Before, I want to play a short video or two. I actually have to do it through the studio, guys. They double booked this room, so my preparation time was not good. So I wanted to throw. Where is that video? Where is it? It was the interview. I'm not sure. Give me 1 second, guys. Just bear with me.
Not see all of this chaos in the world around you distracting you from yourself if there wasn't something within you that was so valuable it warrants that level of distraction. I want you to think about that. And I know it's a very different way of thinking for some people, and for others, it's right up your alley of what you've always felt. Maybe you've never heard it verbalized. It's important that we verbalize this. because in the next 4.5 years, we will be coerced, we will be mandated, we will be invited, we will be indoctrinated to accept new technologies, not just in the world, but into our bodies. I want to talk to you about this in future episodes. There's a reason for that, and it all falls under the broad umbrella of the ancient struggle between light and dark, good and evil. The goal of the struggle, remember, is to deny you your
So touching on that for a second, I know, and I know some people are not privy to this. So if this is confusing or something you don't know about or you haven't heard of, just bypass this, and good for you. There's people in this movement that are actually going to Florida, to Trump Doral, and it's nothing but a few days of distractions because they're not talking about what we're talking about today. And that's the frustration. We have to get this memo because we are the most powerful people. They're distracting us. They're continued to distract us because it's so simple that's why they had to create all of this madness. And it's a simple way of emotion. We'll get into it in a minute. I know we're off to a rough start here. We're a little rattled with the late start and the double booking, and the devil is working, but I'm not. Normally I'd be flipping out, and like I said, I would have canceled, but I'm remaining calm and everything because the devil doesn't want the message to get out. And that's why I'm going to forge forward and keep telling you how powerful you are and you need to hear this. So there's all these distractions that continue to go on. There's a new thing I see people are all excited about. People have been waiting for Nasara Jasara for about 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 years, and med beds, maybe even longer. And I'm here to tell you, and this is the trigger alert, and you'll come back because they're not coming. And I don't know how many more years you're going to wait on something else other than yourself. The reevaluation, the currency is you. It's us. We're the plan. We the people. They're distracting us. So the science is out, which we're going to prove to you today. Today, when we're finished, I'm going to get to the next one shortly here, and I have to do screen share because I didn't get to load it into the program, and I hope it works. But we're going to tell you factually, scientifically, and what's been going on for millennia, that everything that you need and everything that you might possibly be waiting for already exists inside of each and every one of us. We're all exactly the same. Okay, I'm going to prove that to you today. I believe the divine gave me the job to take decades of amazing people's works, dedicated decades of their lives, and me take small pieces out of these things and break it down very simply to you, because it really truly is that simple. All the power is inside, and I will prove to you that it works because I have the dog, I have music, I have the tour, I have things. So I'm going to talk to you about those in a few minutes. But I want to get to this. It's another short video here. I want to start to talk to you about the proof, the science of when we speak to the field, the divine field, the universe, the proper way, instead of asking and you shall receive. Because that's what they left in scripture, right? Ask and you shall receive. Now, I was raised Catholic, and I asked for a lot of things throughout my whole life. And I would say that I probably received 0.5% when I just asked God for things. I didn't receive. Is anyone watching today that prays to God and asks and begs to be healed or heal their son or bring their son or daughter back, or if they have missing children, and all of the horrors that are going on today, which are the distractions, which we created, by the way, because our emotions were manipulated. We didn't know. The fear, the war, the deceit, disease that we have, dis-ease. We've created our own illness, other than on top of when they spray us, poison our foods, give us all this high fructose corn syrup, flour. So they've given us everything because their main goal was to poison us and use our emotions against us. And we created everything that's going on in the world. We didn't know it. We created everything that's going on in the world. Now, when we're finished today, you will know that you have the power to use your emotions the right way. And we are the ones that are going to create the ending that a lot of people are sitting around waiting for. And that's why they don't want you to know how powerful you are.
And
We're going to create the ending.
And I want to just briefly say something. I'm sitting here listening to Tenor and everything that's happened today, and I am actually very emotional right now. And I'm not emotional because I'm sad. I'm emotional because I've known so many of you, and even those who I don't know. And I, I, I think that my feeling is I'm moving it from sadness into joy that you will get this message. But I am on the verge of tears, not because for any other reason, but how much I've loved each of you. And that it's not about you not being here, it's about the fact that you're not showing up for yourself. And this breaks my heart. And I'm glad if you're watching. And I just really want you to hear me how much I love you and how much every phone call and everything that I've done in my heart has all been so genuine and so authentic and real. And I want the joy that I have and the freedom that I have to have you to have been able to share this. And I still want you to share this. And I want you to get this message in a way that is positive and in absolute love. That's all.
And having said that, this whole thing that everybody wants, the world that we want, the things that we're waiting for, the things that we're hoping for, however that looks for everybody, we all want something to happen, right? And we've been deceived because we're keep being deceived and distracted. This is why I'm telling you, and you'll understand at the end of the show. We have to show up. We're the ones that are going to create the ending. We're the powerful creators. That's what they kept from us. We are creating this ending. We have to show up. You have to learn this language today. You have to learn how to use your emotions the right way. That's 5D. People think there's some trip happening to go to 5D. 5D is internal. Love is 5D. For you gematriacs, love is 54 in gematria, and 4 is D. So love, simple, pure authenticity, and love is 5D. That's 5D, love. So that's the language today that we have to learn, and we have to learn how to use it the right way. This is the most important thing that's going on in the universe. We have to learn how to use the language, the emotions of how to speak to the universe, how to speak to the field the correct way. I know this sounds a little cuckoo, right, if you tune in for the first time, but by the time this is over, you will fully understand what's happening. I'm going to try to, I have to, give me 1 minute, guys. I'm going to try to do a screen share, so hang out there 1 second. Sorry, guys, bear with me. Like I said, we were late here, and I didn't get to load this stuff into the restream program. So I'm trying another way. So just bear with me, and I'll wind up editing this and putting a crisp video out in a couple days. But bear with me, okay? You have to get this message. Don't go anywhere, please. All right, guys, so it's not letting me do that. What I'm going to try to do is maybe we could try to play it on the projector, and it's up there, and I'll put the sound on. Let's try that, and then you can hear it hopefully through here. I'll check in a minute. I got to turn that volume up. Sorry, guys, you're experiencing this live and raw. Just want to make sure we're still live here because I can't see you guys. I'm out of the studio. Seeing if we're live here. I'm going to put this up a minute. Sorry, guys, you're experiencing this. Okay, let's try this. And let me just make sure you guys can see the screen, and then I will. You can't see it good. Listen, though, okay? Let's try this. Here we go. Woo! This is crazy, everybody. I got to turn that volume up for you guys. All right. I tell you, the devil does not want this message out today. I am very... Guys, I don't want it to happen here. Let's see. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a video on that shows you how powerful we are because I'm going to throw this on, okay? Here we go, and we'll get back to this.
So any discussion regarding this feeling-based prayer, this lost mode of prayer, sometimes seems a little more than academic until we can actually apply it in our lives or see it applied in our lives. It's in the late 1990s that I had the opportunity to do precisely that. When I saw the footage documenting the healing of a life-threatening condition within the body of a living woman using precisely the kinds of techniques that we're speaking about right now. For me, it was this kind of information that took this lost modality of prayer out of the realm of academics and into something that's very real that we can apply in our lives. I had the opportunity during that time to see some video footage of the healing of a 3-inch diameter bladder cancer inside the body of a woman who, by Western medical standards, had been diagnosed inoperable. She had gone, as a last resort, to a medicineless hospital in Beijing, China. It was in this medicineless hospital where they began simply by addressing the life-affirming ways that she could change how she was living her life. They taught her life-affirming ways to breathe and life-affirming ways to nourish her body, gentle movements to stimulate the energy centers in her body. And as she was doing these and strengthening her body, at one point it made sense to undergo a process. Now I'd like to share this. I'd like to describe it to you as a very potent example of how the feeling world inside of our bodies has a direct effect, in this case a very graphic effect, on the world beyond our bodies. So in the video documentation, the film shows a woman lying on in a hospital room. She's fully awake, she's fully conscious, she believes in the process that's about to happen. Before her, there is an ultrasound technician who is running an ultrasound wand over her lower abdomen that we can see on a split-screen television. And on the left-hand side of the screen, they do a snapshot, a freeze frame of an instant in time for reference, so we can see what her condition looked like in that instant in time. On the right-hand side of the screen, we are able to watch real time as 3 practitioners stand behind her, working with the energy in her body and with the feelings in their bodies. And what they do is they begin to chant a word that to them they've agreed upon. that reinforces the feeling within them that she's already healed. The chant essentially says already healed, already done. And as they begin to have this feeling and to say these words among themselves, on the computer screen, on the television screen, we can watch in real time this cancerous tumor as it disappears in less than 3 minutes real time. It's not like time lapse on a documentary where you see a rose unfold in 30 seconds and something that normally takes days. This literally happens in less than 3 minutes. Her body responded to the feelings of the practitioners who were trained to have the kinds of feelings that they were having. And all they were feeling was the feeling of what it feels like to be in the presence of a woman who is already healed, fully enabled, fully capacitated. They were not seeing her as a woman who was sick, and they weren't saying, bad cancer, you've got to go away. It's a very, very different way of thinking about things, and it's a very graphic example of precisely how this principle works. I had the opportunity to speak to the gentleman, Luke Chen, that actually created this film. And I asked him a question. I said, what if those 3 practitioners weren't there? I said, could this woman have done this? Could any of us do this on our own? And he smiled at me when I asked him the question. He said, Greg, in all probability, she probably could have done it alone. However, there's something about us humans in that we seem to feel more empowered and stronger when we're supported by others in the things that we believe in and in the things that we choose to accomplish. So while she probably could have had this feeling and done it herself, having these 3 practitioners work with her was the threshold that it took for her body to respond. All they were doing was having the feeling as if she were already healed, and in less than 3 minutes her body responded. What Western physics now is beginning to tell us is that the same energy, the same field that led to the healing in this woman's body also leads to peace between nations. It's the same thing, different scale, same principle. And I've been involved in experiments where hundreds of thousands of people joined together through the World Wide Web. We were coordinated on the internet at a given hour of time, a window of time, when we were trained to feel the feelings of peace in our bodies during that time. And when we did that, statistically, what happened in events around the world, there were wartime events. There were bombings, aerial bombings in Iraq that were scheduled, that were reversed during the window of time when this prayer was happening. Crimes against people declined. Emergency hospital room visits declined. There was a computer research project at Princeton University that was able to document the field of consciousness on a global level while these prayers were going on, and they saw a little glitch, a glyph on the screen indicating that consciousness was responding to hundreds of thousands of people feeling the feeling of peace in the moment that it was occurring. And what this tells us is that the field we're working with is a measurable field. You can pick it up with equipment. It can be measured on the computer screen. This was part of the research project at Princeton University.
We've been in the Buddhist monasteries in Tibet, and they're telling us. So, guys, I threw that on, but I want that. Does that sink in? When you hear that, did you hear what happened when people understand the language, the emotion, how to use our emotions the right way? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. There's a lot of distractions. I know, people are telling, medbed deliveries are happening any second from the medbed stork. And Nasara is still coming, and there's some footage out there. I look at footage and I keep my eyes on things as an observer, because when I watch it aggravated, because I'm like, what kind of new shit is happening today that's going to distract people from understanding how powerful they are? What event are they going to listen to a truther talk about something, anything and everything other than what we're talking about today? And why are people that you follow, who are supposed to be in the movement and care and love you, why are they not dedicating a little portion of their show to this. I understand there's stuff going on out there. I understand people are missing their children. People have had their children taken with CPS. People are struggling financially, the whole thing. And I was part of all of that too. The only thing is I don't have children, so I had the same struggles, the same thing, got caught up in the same stuff. I'm just as guilty as everyone else. I used to talk about all of these things years ago. They're archived on my channel, my Rumble channel. For some strange reason, I talked about the fake inauguration, talked about election fraud, the pandemic, the whole thing. We know it all. But how many more years are we going to talk about it? Is it time to start talking about
Action.
the science and the action? Because all of these things, I'm letting you know, you may not want to hear this, and you're going to be okay. Here's the great news. We're all going to be okay. Okay. There's people out there that are doing the work. And something is going to happen at some point when a certain mass of people around the world understand what we're talking about today, and we start to tap in to our emotions and we start to use them the right way. We're raising the frequency when we're speaking this language of love. It's going out, it's radiating out. The more people we have, the further it goes, miles and miles. So we're making a change, even for your friends and family that have no idea what's going on.
You see, they have no idea.
They have no idea.
And so the question is, what's happening that the average person that is involved in this movement and has been is unable to truly hear this message and not have something else come in and justify it away or distract them away?
So again, did you watch with your eyes and hear with your ears with regular people? Those weren't superheroes from, where Superman came from, which all of that might be real in the future anyway, who knows? But those were three people like you and I, exactly the same. The woman understood the process. She learned how to speak the language of love. She was home doing self-affirming things, which we'll get to in a second, like cleaning her temple, which the temple is you. I've done several fasts, and I've even connected more, and I was getting more emotional. We're eating again. We're on the road. It's not like I'm home in my system, right? I'm traveling. Sometimes I'm in a truck stop. They're trying to figure out and how we're getting to the next location for this tour. And so I can't be cooking and doing all of my super healthy things. But I'm fasting again. I haven't eaten since yesterday, and I'm going to go a few days because my temple. Why did they talk about these things? I'm jumping a little bit, but I believe that what we're talking about here, and it's not because it's me, it's decades of people's works, and I finally got the memo, and I'm changing my life. Again, in a minute, I'll talk to you, I'll explain to you by how I spoke this language, how I tapped into my emotions, how I spoke to the field, the God field, the quantum field, the universe, and how I created the dog. How I created music back in my life, how I created my segment of the Healing the World Tour. And I'll put out there, I'm letting you know that Trump will be sharing my single, That's America, on social media. I didn't talk to him. It's because I celebrated in my heart and in my mind as if it already happened. I get emotional over it. That's what we're talking about today. That's the language of how to talk to the quantum field. So I don't know how long it's going to take to be seen, but I've already seen it. Just like I already saw the dog in my life before she came. Then she came. This is what we're talking about today. So again, I repeat, did you see the three people when they learned how to speak and tap into the language on command, what they did in less than 3 minutes? They made that thing that starts with C. You heard it. I'm not going to say it out loud because we'll get thrown off, but in
It's
that
a
video.
zodiac sign, right?
Yeah. So the big C, right? That thing that's killed a lot of our friends and families, and that poison, they made that disappear. I want you to get that into your brain today.
And they were also in agreement. The woman had already been prepped and was in agreement. So it was 4 of them. It wasn't somebody sitting back going, well, you pray for me. As a matter of fact, I want to say we're not promoting prayer. We're not because people have been doing it incorrectly. We're not promoting asking, wanting, begging, feeling less than, and feeling like you need to ask and need something. Everything is already in the quantum field. That's what we're here telling you. And you are the scientist, you are the experiment and the experiencer. When you do not take this and actually attempt and try, you will never know. And you will then know, as I'm telling you, why 99+% of the population cannot get out of what they have created. It's this simple, but for whatever reason, it's difficult for most people to hear this message. And the question you need to be asking yourself is why? And maybe the best thing to do is talk with yourself in the mirror. The West Coast Wizard gave us this information. I do this. And dialogue with yourself. That would be really helpful.
So, just because of the fact there's two important videos, I'm just having trouble with the screen share. What we might do is we might regroup and reschedule this to do a chat where everyone is prepared, because I don't want to just stay on here filling up time, but I want you to if you go to tennertalk.com, and you I'm gonna did I share that? No, I did not. And you make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and the Rumble channel. We did a part 1 and a part 2, which is really chock full, and it actually shows the videos that I'm having trouble showing today. So if you're here live, we would have been here for at least another hour or so. And so the best thing to do is go to the YouTube channel, tennertalk.com, subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Rumble channel, and there's a part 1 and a part 2. And you'll be fully prepared, and I think we're going to regroup, and we're going to do a live where we can do this practice together. Because if you heard in that video when Greg said, could this woman have done this herself? And yes, we can do this ourselves when we understand how to tap into that language. And we talk about that a little bit more in part 1 and part 2. But there's something about us humans when we come together. And I wanted to reiterate that when we started this tour, the first stop was Temperance, Michigan, April 12th. And we have an 80-something-year-old gentleman that was looking to give up. Okay, and we didn't heal him. Like, we're not out. We're just sharing the message of how powerful we are.
And he was in agreement.
And he was in agreement. And we came together. You know, we held hands. I was hoping to do this today, but I want to regroup, and I really want to get people prepared for this. And we'll have a much shorter show when we do this, so you can prepare at home. You can start to realize how powerful you are. You could watch part 1 and part 2, and it will get you ready. So when we do the next live, I want to just dive right in, because when we come together, we are connected consciously. You heard Greg say that at a certain date and at a certain time, about 100,000 people connected consciously at the same time, and they agreed on a message. Like those practitioners, they were loosely saying, she's already healed, right? So Greg was part of, and I remember that years ago when they came together and they were in agreement, and they put the message into their heart, their mind. They saw it as if it was already done. These people are learning how to speak this language, which is very simple, everyone. It's hard because we're so poisoned and we're looking for everything else outside of ourselves. This is why this is hard. I can't do this every day. I have a hard time sometimes. That's why we have to continue to talk about this, because this is the most important thing that is happening right now. And our creator is waiting for us to change the ending of the madness that's going on out there. We created it because our emotions were used against us. They used our emotions to create the madness that we're living through. And the greatest part that I love is that I get to participate because I'm a powerful creator made in the image of the creator. So that's what it says. So I get to do my part in creating the ending of this movie instead of waiting.
And we participate in pure love.
We participate.
That's how we're participating. And
it's emotions. That's
correct.
5D,
Yes.
right? Yeah. That's the language. We have to learn how to use our emotions and speak this language the right way. And I can't tell you how important it is. It's actually, this is happening the way it's supposed to, because now people have time to go watch part 1 and part 2, and those videos are in there. the proper way to do this, to speak this language from the heart, 5D, is in the Lost Gospel of Thomas. That video is in part one or part two. Greg is explaining the proper way to tap into this emotion, not asking ye shall receive. Because again, I'm not beating up God. I have a true meaningful relationship with him. But things were manipulated. They didn't want us to know the proper language. And the language is pure love. And it comes from inside.
And seeing it done now. So when you ask, when you're praying for things to happen, you think you're doing the right thing. And it's not. The right thing is to see it already done now. And the heart-brain coherence is the real measure. The heart is the real measure of the revaluation. And Tanner, if you want to speak on that or not.
Yeah. I'm putting up, just so you guys can find it, if you happen to be brand new, if you go to tennertalk.com, it's right on the screen there. And I think the link is in the description box. If you go to tennertalk.com, all of my social media links are right on the homepage. And I was going to sing today. I'm not in the mood for it. So when you jump out of here and you go to Tenner Talk, the first music video on my website is Thank You for Coming. That's the song that I wrote. I was a musician, but I never wrote a song. By tapping into this power within me and seeing it already done, I saw myself in arenas talking to the crowd before I sing the song to them, and it wasn't written. So you have to, this is what we're talking about today. This is explained in part one and part two in these videos. And it's tapping into that language and seeing things. This is what's in the Lost Gospel of Thomas. It tells you not once, not twice, but 3 times. Why did they hide it? Okay, so they unearthed this gospel. And in that gospel, Greg is explaining what it says in there, the proper way to connect to your heart, to the divine that's within you, is to see things as if they're already in your life and you get emotional over them. It's heart and brain coherence. Okay? So I was just coerced to sing the song because I want you to hear the words. I'm going to do it kind of a cappella here, karaoke style on my phone. And I want to leave you with that. But I want you to go listen to the song and I want you to watch the music video because it was put together divinely. Because I tapped into the divine within me. So the song comes and I write this song. And the words are the blueprint of how powerful you are, how powerful we are. Thank you for coming. Q is you and me. Q is creation. Not to be mixed up, with the Q, right? All of that stuff had to be done. There's a lot of important information out of there. We had to be crazy. We shared a lot of things. We planted a lot of seeds. The shift has to happen and you have to focus on you now because you write your future. You change your life.
That is a direct relationship with the revaluation, which is from the heart. And most of you have heard and know this has been put out there already. It's not our idea. It's not a new thing. And I know we seem somber, and it's really, it's not somber. We are doing exactly what we need to do. And we trust that God is in also having you do exactly what you need to do. But it's not about a test as much as it is an opportunity to say, I want to do this now. I want to be a part of something. Go be a part of Greg Braden's group. We don't care.
Yeah, we're not selling anything. And people that know me for a while know that I actually have the other, and I actually made sure that they weren't linked together because I still have, this is all about frequency, energy, and vibration, but we can tap into that. And I was using, and I still do occasionally, not really a lot, right? You haven't even seen me, haven't even showed you the brain tap yet, right? So because we have to bypass all of the, we can bypass all of the patches and concoctions and frequency devices and chambers and all of these things because we are, did you see what 3 people did with tapping into their love and tapping into their emotion? They made a mass killer tumor inside a woman disappear in 3 minutes. That's what you do. Why is this not the most important thing that everyone is talking about? It's two reasons, and I have to do this. Your podcasters, your people, your patriots, your fake patriots, if they're not talking about this, it's one of two reasons. They don't know about it, which you should tell them to have me on the show, and I'll cue their audience in onto how we can change the world. Or they work for the other side, and they're still keeping you distracted.
Which is the mass majority of people. Well, probably the mass
Yeah,
majority.
and I don't mind calling them out because I'm not selling anything. I don't have a patch for you today. I'm involved in devices. I think they were very helpful, and I don't even want to talk about them. So just remember, we're here on our dime, which not much left, operating on donations. We're heading to Florida in the next few days. We don't even have a location yet, but I know that the Divine is going to help put a location there because the Divine is inside me. And after the show today, I'm going to see the next place, and then we're going to be with powerful people in Florida. And then after Florida, I'm going to go where the Divine wants me to go. And again, I can go home and go back to work and, drink a beer and get back in the 3D world and start dating and all of those things. But the Divine has me out on a mission to let you know how powerful you are, and we're all the same, and that what you just saw what those three people did, you have the power to do that. We have the power to do that. We've already come together with powerful people. And getting back, I got sidetracked to Tom in Wisconsin. He was looking to give up. He's off of his pain meds. I didn't even know he had 2 knee replacements. He was just talking about the severe degeneration in his spine and his vision. And he was looking to give up on life. And I've spoken to him several times. He took himself off his pain medications. His knees aren't bothering him. He feels great. He's practicing this language, this heart and brain coherence in the morning before he gets caught up in distractions of news and all of that stuff. And he does it before he goes to bed. Because as you heard Greg say, your DNA changes by the distractions. So if you're in fight or flight mode and you're going to bed stressed out, your body is sending you the chemicals to treat that as if you're being chased by a wild animal, because the brain doesn't know any different. If you're going to bed fighting and stressed out with everybody, your body is treating and sending you chemicals to get you out of fight or flight mode. But when you go to bed most nights in complete peace, like me, and helping to fast and cleanse my temple, you're data and all of those things. We just blipped there. Hopefully you heard that. But when you go to bed in peace, your brain is sending you healing chemicals. That's why I'm in the best physical shape of my life at almost 57, because I'm not distracted any longer.
And the question is, are you giving control to that which you believe is keeping you from that peace? Or are you saying to yourself, I'm going to do this, practice this, try this, at least, so I know for myself? And I also wanted to mention Karen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, on the trip from Arkansas down to Texas, we stopped off and see some folks that we had seen years ago in Dallas, and Diane stayed in touch with all the time. She's been with them several times. They met us, they took us to lunch, and we did we connected, and we got them up to speed, which you'll see in part 1 and part 2, how to start tapping into this language a little bit, which we'll do in our next show, I promise. So make sure you're subscribed to tennertalk.com. And we did we connected the mind and the heart. We did a Reader's Digest version to bring them up to speed. We connected in the truck. They have a big dually, so they
That's
were
an
in the front.
understatement.
Yeah, that's a big truck.
And no, the connection part.
Oh, the connection. And we held hands. The key is breathing too, because when you breathe,
Touching your heart.
you're telling your body that you're safe, and you're telling your body you're safe. So we did the thing. We got in the connection. We played the music that we played on, in Michigan and in Ohio, and we sent out the love. We sent out the love. And I was concentrating on Karen. You were concentrating on Karen. She told us what her issues were. And it was about 15 minutes there. We got emotional. I could hear people crying. that's when you know that you connected to your divine,
And the crying
divine
isn't out of
language.
sadness. It was out of pure
It's
joy
love.
and
It's
love.
tears of joy.
And love.
That's what it is. Tears of love. This isn't sadness. You know when you're doing this right, when I do my gratitude, when I do this several times a day when I can, and it's easy for me now. It's easy for me. I'm very lucky because I brought the dog into my life. I'm sorry, honey. I had to wake her up. This dog exists because I spoke that language that those practitioners were speaking when they made that thing disappear in 3 minutes. That's how powerful we are. I brought this dog into my life. It took me a few weeks. It was last February 23rd, and I went and got her. So for weeks, I would lay in bed. It was very hard to connect because it was new, because this is new. We've been so poisoned. It's hard for us to connect.
But that's what practice is about.
And that's what practice is, by just, and it's okay. The brain is going to wander, and you just have to stay steadfast and let all of those thoughts and the subconscious mind, let it fight itself. But you just keep staying in there, and you got to stay in there. And this dog, in a few weeks, February 23rd, she was there, and there was money in my account when I came out of the last manifestation. This is how powerful this is. Thank you for my kisses on my ear, honey.
And I want to say something real
people.
quick too. I want you to have a clear understanding when we're out in the world, and let's say we're playing baseball, soccer, football, cards. Are the cards playing you? Are you waiting for the baseball bat or the cards to tell you what's happening and when it's going to happen? No, you're interacting. So we can take this a step further. If you're going to have a healing modality, Reiki, some kind of healing, whatever, Tara, are you letting other people tell you about you, or are you the one that it's the creator in the moment? It becomes a little more removed when we add junk into it, which is daily life, and we're using this as an example. So technology is the same thing, whether we're using red light therapy, green light therapy, the Healy, whatever. Are we allowing it? Are we thinking that it is the healer? This is why most people aren't getting healed. It's because they aren't the creator and saying, I created this. I'm using this. The only reason that I even would ever want to use something is to know because I'm the one that's making it happen. I'm visualizing it while it happens, what I want it to do. So you are the one that is choosing. And while Tanner gets this set up, I just want you to know that we are looking forward to seeing many of you as we travel. And do not discount that everything is about divine timing. It always is, but so is this. And here Tanner's going to sing, so it's going to be great.
Pay attention to the man behind the curtain. So I don't know how this is going to sound, everybody, but hopefully it's somewhat terrible, because then the very next thing you're going to do after we end this live is go to tennertalk.com. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube and the Rumble, and then you're going to look for part 1 and part 2. I don't know what the rest of it says, healing the world or whatever. It's part 1 and part 2, and they're probably less than an hour and a half, both of the videos. So the time that you would have been here putting into this, because this was supposed to be 3 hours, you can go do that. And the divine is running this, and this is better because I think most of this is going to be done online. We are going to be, keep going on the country. And if it's 2 people or 20 people or 20,000, which I'm also letting you know, I told you Trump is going to be sharing That's America soon, because I created it and I command it, and I know how to speak to the divine field, and it must give me what I want. That's what this is all about. It must. It's giving me the dog. It's giving me music. It's giving me the tour, and it will bring you to the people that you need to be with, because you're raising the frequency. That's all real stuff. You're raising the frequency. So that's why, and Diane saw some type of tour in the past too. So look what happens. You're gonna meet your tribe. It's no coincidence that I created an email a couple years ago called Tennerstribe, because I see something happening. Not that it's about tenor, but I'm just a guy, right? So we got 4 people here, and even though they're all individual, powerful creators, I'm going to say that they're in Tennerstribe, because that's just because I created it, right? So they're my friends. So I'm going to sing this song, and when this is done, you must go to the website, connect, and watch this music video and listen to this song in quiet. Please do that, because it's your song. The divine wrote the song with me because it's our song. It's Q. It's you. Q is creation. It's the moment, the spark. When the sperm enters the woman's egg, it's a spark and it's a Q. That's what's going on. That's how powerful we are. We're all the same. We're God's children. We're creation. We are Q. So you've all just been graduated today, if you didn't know that. And I don't know. I didn't go to Q school. The divine is just, I open my mouth and words come out. So it must be true because it's my intentions are pure and we're not selling anything. And again, this is operating on donations. I have to tell you that because we're driving to Florida. The Mystery Machine gets 7 miles to the gallon. And if something is connecting with you today or after you watch part 1 or part 2, go to healingtheworldtour.com. And even if it's $1, or go to tenortalk.com and download this song or the other songs, or buy a CD or a hat or a shirt, something. You know, if you find it in your heart, if this is connecting with you and you understand how powerful you are, you know, help us keep going on tour and spreading the message that I believe I'm not comparing myself to Jesus. I believe Jesus was doing this, right? And he even said he didn't heal people. He told a woman, I didn't heal you, right? Get up. You can see, get up. Jesus was spreading the word of how powerful we are. That's why I think they killed him, right? And no one's going to kill me because it's not going to happen anyway. Which
And I want to say in the live when we do that next, I'll save this, but I'm going to share also how my life changed, and those of you who know me know this, and I will just talk about it because if you were with me and have been with me most of my life, you know my story. So we'll do that next time when we talk.
guys, ready? Let me turn this towards the speaker there, so you don't try not to kill you. Anyway, let's see what happens here. I was so lost and looking. That's when you came. Now that you're here, my life never be the same. I wish I knew all this time. Always been here. Show me what's right. Turn the dark into light. Away all of my fear. Sun is shining. The birds are singing. Singing your name. Flowers and dew. The sky's Tiffany blue. I'm so glad you came. And you came to me. When I cried out your name on the night I was ready. The life is forever. The world reaching out somehow try to take you away. Tell them my story, give you all of the glory. This time you're here to stay. The sun has risen, the winds are whispering.
stars shining so bright. I'm so glad you gave to me everything and all that I am. You're a part of me, and I can't breathe again. Come back, come back. Thank you for coming back, coming back. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Are you so lost and looking? That's when you came. Tennertalk.com, part 1, part 2. Get ready for the next live because it's going to be powerful because it's all about you.
Goodbye, everybody. I love you. I'm thinking of you in my heart.